Hello friends. You are on the channel Quotes of Great Men. Enjoy watching. If someone asks a stupid question, you can only give a stupid answer or appear arrogant. For me, it's about being at home and living a life. Taking the dog for a walk, doing the shopping, emptying the dishwasher, going for a run. I know I'm old-fashioned, but I don't want to bring out a fashion line. I don't want to bring out an album. I just want to do the work as best as I can, and if that affects change for somebody, then that is great. I don't want to change the world. I enjoy any chance to get in front of a microphone in a role. I'll do it. Patience is something that, as a young man, I didn't have when waiting for parts to arrive or waiting for people to behave as I wanted them to. 42 is a really boring age, isn't it? My whole career has been completely random and haphazard. I've said this before, myself and Tommy Shelby, he's the most unlike me character I have ever played. A director, I forget who, told me that it takes 30 years to make an actor. And I believe that. You have to learn your craft, learn your trade, and also you have to live a life and experience things. It was very much about performances. The whole ensemble thing was just great, everybody working together. Sometimes it didn't feel like a film set. It wasn't technically driven, it was very, very enjoyable. It's only an advantage as an actor looking younger than you are, if you can maintain it. I had a really good time in my 20s and 30s. My wife can see always how a part affects me personally because she has to live with it. The best roles you have to fight for. You have to really want to do it and you have to go after it. Men and women are custodians of this society, and we both decide what's going to happen for our future. I feel that very, very strongly. At the moment I'm doing this space movie, so I'm obsessed with physics and space travel. I know 3 months down the line it's gone. Then I'll be able to superficially say stuff about space. Then I wanted the character to be feminine as opposed to effeminate. Because it's easy to be camp or queen. Anyone can do that. What's difficult is to play feminine. It's embarrassing sometimes, the way actors or musicians sometimes get made untouchable. That time, making Disco Pigs, was kind of the most important period of my life. The people I met there remain my closest friends. I've written my own music, and I play guitar. I enjoy all aspects of it. I don't have a preference for any medium. I think each of them has its attractions, and I would hope they each inform the other in some way. I'd love to work in America. Some of my favorite films come from America. Having started out in theater, I feel an impulse to do it as much as I can. What we do as actors is we go through phases where you superficially learn all this information. The color grading in Peaky is a huge, huge element of the show's distinctive style, you know? I would not roll out a musical. What I will categorically say is that I will not be in a Peaky Blinders musical. I don't have a burning passion to live in America per se, but I would certainly like to work there. It's obvious that if you're going to play a character, you need to amass information about that person and about their environment or their era that they're in, and use as little or as much as necessary. There's a lot of comedy in intermission, but it's got this depth. It's not comedy for comedy's sake, it's informed by something else. I like stuff like that. I don't do karaoke. You know how some people don't like massages? They don't like massages. I don't like karaoke. I've always been an actor who works in every medium. I've worked in theater, in film, and television. I've never seen any difference between the three. Jeff Dyer is an abundantly talented writer. I don't have a burning passion to live in America per se, but I would certainly like to work there. I like watching film. I go to the cinema, but a lot of times I go to see kids' films. And once you're unafraid with death, I think your capacity for violence is immediately increased. Once you're unafraid of death, you are a very, very dangerous adversary. I personally think if something's not a challenge, there's no point doing it because you're not gonna learn much. I like the little bit of distance that London affords me, and I like living in a world capital. I like having the culture at my fingertips. I love The Fall. I was kind of obsessed with that show. I like being at home with my music and my books. I've done all the partying. I've done enough partying for 4 or 5 people as a young fella. But now I like the quiet life. I don't know if anyone will ever sit beside me on a plane again. I don't consider myself a shy person necessarily, but there's something about getting under the skin of a character and allowing you an abandon or a sense of courage that you would never have in your own life. I come from a long line of teachers. Not only did I not go into the family business, I had an aborted law career and I played in bands. Disco Pigs was my first professional acting experience. I always think it's a sign of a truly gifted director when they can move seamlessly between genres. Having started out in theater, I feel an impulse to do it as much as I can. For me, it's always been about the stories, not what medium. The medium is secondary to the stories. I don't care if people perceive me as always selling out because I'm doing a studio picture. For me, the whole thing is you should be diverse in your choices. That's the beauty of being an actor. You should be able to do that. Every Irish person of my generation and earlier, we were raised Catholic and we'd have to learn it in school. We'd to learn the catechism by rote. At the moment I'm doing this space movie, so I'm obsessed with physics and space travel. I know 3 months down the line it's gone. Then I'll be able to superficially say stuff about space. All I've tried to do as an actor is follow the good writing. That's been my main drive. It's not always possible, so when you do come upon it, like when I came upon this, you realize pretty quickly this is something you need to be involved with. The best roles you have to fight for. You have to really want to do it and you have to go after it. I don't know if anyone will ever sit beside me on a plane again. I think it's necessary to keep moving forward. I've always said that nostalgia is death, really, for anyone creative. It's always nice to be challenged. If you behave like a celebrity, then people will treat you like a celebrity. And if you don't, they won't. There's not much to write about me in the tabloids. Thank you for watching. I will be glad to see you again.